Many of the UN placards and labels show the flame symbol. This explains that they will either cause, aid or support burning, either on their own or with other materials. ADR therefore requires that vehicles must carry fire extinguishers. The amount they must carry depends largely on the size of the vehicle. Vehicles up to and including 3.5 tons must have at least 4 kilograms of dry powder fire extinguisher on board. Vehicles over 3.5 tons and up to 7.5 tons must have 8 kilograms of dry powder fire extinguisher on board. One of these, however, must be at least 6 kilograms. Vehicles over 7.5 tons must have at least 12 kilograms of dry powder fire extinguisher on board, and again at least one of these must be 6 kilograms or over. Extinguishers should be fitted both inside and outside of the vehicle. They must be easily available and protected from any possibility of damage by weather. Some hauliers use different configurations. For example, some hauliers will put a 3 kilogram fire extinguisher inside the cab with a single 9 kilogram on the outside, while others may put a 2 kilogram in the cab and have two 6 kilograms on the outside. Be aware of this if you're collecting trailers. As well as the safety aspect, fire extinguisher offences are the biggest single cause of prohibition notices and fines for drivers carrying dangerous goods. According to ADR, you should carry dry powder extinguishers, which is the best all-round extinguishing agent. As fire is created by a combination of three elements, heat, fuel and oxygen, known as the fire triangle, there are different ways of fighting the fire: removing the fuel, starving the oxygen, or cooling the heat. For this reason, there are different categories of fire. Class A fires involve combustible materials such as paper, wood, cardboard and most plastics. Class B fires involve flammable or combustible liquids such as petrol, kerosene, paraffin, grease and oil. Class C fires involve flammable gases such as propane, butane and methane. Class D fires involve combustible metals such as magnesium, titanium, potassium or sodium. Class F fires are very specific to cooking oils and fats. As there are different classes of fire, there are different types of fire extinguisher, identified by a 5% colour band. Water has the red label and is good for combustible solid materials such as paper and wood. This should never be used on an electrical fire or for flammable liquids. Foam has the cream label. It can also be used for combustible solid materials as well as being used for contained flammable liquids, as the foam forms a layer over the flammable liquid and contains the vapours. As it's water-based though, it should not be used for electrical fires. CO2 has the black label. It's good for most fires as it expels oxygen, which means it will have little effect on Class 5 substances. Do not hold the cylinder or nozzle during discharge due to the rapid cooling that occurs. Another extinguisher you may encounter, however it's not considered with dangerous goods, is the yellow labelled wet chemical. This is used for deep fat fryer fires. In order to be compliant, you must check that your extinguishers show and are within the next service date, that the seal is intact, the gauge is in the green band, showing that it is not under or over pressurized. The extinguisher shows a relevant compliant marking. Remember, you should never do anything that is likely to endanger yourself. As extinguishers only last for a matter of seconds, they should only ever be used for small fires in their initial stages. Generally, this would be in the driver's cab, the wheels or tyres, or the engine compartment of the vehicle. You should never attempt to fight a fire in the load compartment. ADR requires that each member of the vehicle crew should know how to operate fire extinguishers. Firstly, make sure it's safe to do so. Ensure that you have a means of escape. Visually check the extinguisher. Break the seal and pull the pin. Check to make sure that it works. This simulation shows flammable liquid tankers in the background, so therefore the fire must be dealt with quickly. Notice how the quick sweeping motion aimed at the base of the fire is very effective. Also notice the impaired vision caused by the use of dry powder.